Hello guy, Mr. Max here, and I wanted to talk about the DriveThruRPG and Red Room situation. And for those who don't know, DriveThruRPG is a site selling PDFs and print-on-demand product, and they are the biggest site for it in the RPG field. They have nearly a monopoly. The Red Room is a RPG publisher from Portugal. Red Room published a game named Man, a game from Manly Man, and they got banned from DriveThru for it. Before I go any further, I also want to say that I'm not the biggest free speech guy. Free speech is something you ask when you're not in power, and not something you offer when you are. I know this will shock some of you, but it is what it is. It's a power game, and if you try to be all principle and you want to allow free speech to your political opponent, thinking that censoring them would create a precedent that they would use against you once they take back power, well, you have to understand that they don't care if you create a precedent or not. Once they get back power, they'll censor you anyway. But anyway, at the moment, my people aren't in power, so free speech is the most important value of your society. It is primordial for us to advance as a people, and we need it to find the truth. Yeah, I said the thing. Anyway, so DriveThru and Red Room. Another disclaimer, I dislike DriveThru and I disliked them for a long time. I don't know the people from the Red Room, but I've seen them on stream here and there, and they seem like good people, so I'll be biased here again. The reason I dislike DriveThru so much is because they are run by a bunch of shitlib pussies who inject their personal politics in their business policy. They have a long history of preferential treatment or unpreferential towards some creator. Apparently, even like James Raji, if he wants to put out a product on DriveThru, the product has to be reviewed and approved by some kind of a committee. And the whole incident with Avenger Satanist and his abortion team adventure that he put out to celebrate the overturning of Roe v. Wade, that adventure got banned, and it had a significant impact on DriveThru. It made them change their content policy, and it also made them put out some new rules about hostile marketing. They also made trash talking the DriveThru staff on social media a bannable offense. And I know King Waspinator was quite upset with Avenger for poking at the bear. King Waspinator does sell product on DriveThru, and he does have product that could be seen as a little bit edgy. So when someone provoked the edgement of the RPG in the RPG distribution and pushed them to tighten their content policy, it can have repercussion on others, and King Waspinator, I guess, felt a bit threatened by that. And I know that many of my subscribers dislike King Waspinator, and it's in part related to this incident because the Legend of Myth channel is a big central hub for a small community of RPG content creators on YouTube that oppose the woke crowd. And by the way, I was on the Friday Night Chilled stream on Legend of Myth channel last week. Check it out if you haven't seen it. But anyway, when Venger got his product banned from DriveThru, Legend of Myth asked him to talk about the situation. And it made King Waspinator feel like by being somewhat associated with Legend of Myth, which associated themselves with Venger, could put him in the direct line of fire from DriveThru, so he decided to burn the bridge. I still find him entertaining, and I like the different perspective he brings to the conversation, so I still watch him. But, so yeah, Venger got his product banned, and DriveThru changed their term, and the Red Room already had some trouble with DriveThru in the past for using the word Holocaust in the title of one of their products. I guess they didn't know that despite being a normal word in the English language that existed for a very long time, it's a word that is found multiple times in the Bible. It's a word that Lovecraft used quite a bit back in the 20s. But now it has been like trademarked and cannot be used for any other purpose than to refer to the alleged suffering of the Jews, and we're never allowed to question. You'll be forced to look at a pile of shoes if you do, and this is clearly undeniable proof that the whole thing happened, just as the Jew in Hollywood told you it did. And in some country you can even be jailed for asking questions about it, but that's neither here nor there. Just like I'll get trouble if I talk more about that. But anyway, this product was named Sexual Holocaust. It's been deemed problematic, was removed from the site. And now they did it again with this game, Man, that obviously would obviously get them in trouble. And if they didn't see that coming, I don't know what to tell them. If they did see it coming and they decided to go ahead anyway, then I applaud them. I love people who poke bears and kick beehives. Sometimes it needs to be done. And we need people to do it. And maybe I try to do it a bit myself here. But Sylvia and Miguel, I don't know you, but you earn a lot of points in my books for that. And let's talk about about men for a moment and the game, not the superior gender. Men, a game for manly men, is clearly a product that has been made with humor in mind. I haven't had the book in hands or the PDF on hard drive, but I've seen other YouTubers cover it, and from what I've seen, it was pretty funny. Shout out to 28mm who looked at it with Shoner, and DM Bloodwork from Unscripted and Unchained looked at it. Bruce Lombardo also did. I'll try to put link to all those guys down in the comment below. If you want to learn more about the product, you can watch those videos. I assume some of them might be taken down by YouTube. But in short, what Men is about, it's a game where you play over the top version of a man, like in all the toxic masculinity kind of way. You have 3 attributes, which is balls, brown, and brains, and you have 3 resources to expend: hate, horniness, and hunger. Woman or inventory item, and you get different type of boner that are kind of spells, and you fight butt pirates and feminazi, and the whole thing is obviously a joke. And to be frank, my first impression of the product wasn't really a good one. I'm very pro masculinity and a bit misogynistic, just a tad. But I think men should focus on other things than just sex. I don't like this Coomer mindset where the whole focus of your life is to get laid and to ejaculate. I think as we men should aspire to greater things. But from what I saw from the coverage done by those other guys I mentioned earlier, the book is pretty funny. There's a lot of good jokes in there, and humor is a big one for me. I will excuse many things I would otherwise condemn if they are done in a comedic way. I like funny, but the shitlib of DriveThru and the woke F-slur who complain about this kind of product clearly don't. And for them, just not buying the product is not enough. And telling their pussies to boycott doesn't cut it either. Nobody can be allowed to enjoy something they deem problematic. Of course, if you want to buy this product, you still can at Big Geek Emporium. I'll put a link for that in the description below as well. So in short, this is what happened. And this is the situation between the Red Room and DriveThru, where it came from, what caused it. If you didn't already knew that, you probably could have learned that from someone else with better English than me. So what do I bring to the conversation? Do I have any new perspective on the subject, something of value outside of just summarizing the situation? Well, I think there's one thing I want to talk about, and is how we perceive RPGs. It seems like there's a 2 ways to consider an RPG product. Either as a consumer product, or as something of an artistic expression. And probably the whole thing is on a spectrum, and you can see them as both, maybe more leaning to one side, more leaning to the other side. And maybe some products are made more as something to be sold to a certain audience, like a trade good, and some other products are made more as art. And I think the whole the way we see RPG in general, or the way we see what we produce, will influence your opinion on this whole fiasco. If you lean more toward the product to be sold view, and someone bring chaos to the marketplace, it will annoy you. It will annoy you. Now the storefront might implement more restrictive rules and it make it harder for you to do commerce. If you get kicked out because you get caught in the crossfire, it hinders your profit. If you're more in the camp of the creative expression and artistic product, then you might be more bothered by the censorship and the restrictive rules. Maybe it is something natural for artists. They want to push the boundaries and explore different ideas. I remember hearing James Raji complaining about censorship and asking something like, "Can we be allowed to create freely?" And I don't have the exact quote, but it was something along that way. And that betrays a very different mindset than the "can we avoid disturbance in the marketplace" kind of mindset. And of course, if you were purely in the merchant camp, maybe the whole thing wouldn't bother you, because you would just like produce products that are uncontroversial and you would feel safe in the assumption that DriveThru won't find anything objectionable with them, or anything objectionable about you, because DriveThru will also cancel you for off-site behavior. And they will get rid of you if the woke mob goes on a crusade against you and cause some headaches for them. The whole thing is very subjective, it's very arbitrary. So yeah, there is like this distinction in perception, I believe, between, should I call them like the merchants and the artists? And maybe that is something we should consider as a community. I'm not even saying that one is absolutely superior to the other. You know, I might probably like classify people like Grim Jim and James Raji more into the artistic camp, but their product doesn't really appeal to me. Like, so I guess what? I just don't buy them and I move on. I don't want them banned. I don't care. As for the DriveThruRPG situation, I would love to see a massive boycott of DriveThru, but like I said, I disliked them for a while, and especially now since they are merged with Roll20, which are also another bunch of people I dislike. But that's easy for me to say. I don't have anything. I don't have any product to sell. I'm not selling anything on DriveThru. I used to buy something there, or there's some product I might want that are there. But if your product is only available on DriveThru, there's a good chance that my desire to not give them money will be greater than my desire to get your product. And having a quasi-monopoly like DriveThru is not good for the consumer, but it's also not good for the publisher. DriveThru takes a 35% cuts of products of everything sold on DriveThru, and they reduce it to 30% if you go exclusive. But 30%, that's quite high. That's what Apple charged for their App Store. And I think it was Grim Jim saying that the 5% difference that they get from going exclusive would often represent more money than what they would have got from every other seller combined. But what if you were to go exclusive with another seller? Or not even go exclusive, but you just go everywhere else but DriveThru. And for a small publisher or an independent guy, that might be a self-condemnation to obscurity. But if you're already a big name with a loyal following, like Grim Jim or James Raggi, surely you could be able to nudge a lot of them to go to this other seller. And, I love the guy at the Big Gig Emporium, and I would love to see the site grow and to come to take a big bite of DriveThru's business, because we do need a serious alternative. It would even force DriveThru to behave better. And I understand that now BGE got some issues and they have some growing pain. But life is all about sacrifice. If you want something, like if you want to be able to create freely, or if you want to not give money to people who hate you, you have to be ready to give up something for it. Nothing in life is free. And I would much rather give some conveniences, or even some revenue, than give up my dignity or my artistic integrity. But that's me, guys. I cannot make this decision for you. So if you're selling or purchasing an RPG product, but I will ask you to consider what I've said here. So that's what I had to say about it. Thank you for watching. See you soon and take care.